Okay, so today is another chance opportunity. And what I want to talk about today is cosmic mutation. And as usual, per usual, this download is inspired by the Honorable Prophet Elijah the Christ. You feel me? I was clipping up a download the other day that Chief made a while back, and it's called Mutations 101. And I'm inspired to talk about mutations and how we're undergoing cosmic mutations as well as biological and genetic mutations. And it's important for us to know this and know that we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. But cosmic mutations. So 3 is free, man. Reflected light from our chief. So listen, cosmic mutations. First off, what is a mutation? First off, we have to understand what a mutation is. A mutation is like a cancer. A mutation is something that lives against its own nature. Something that's not living in harmony with its own essence, right? You see the birds and the bees and all the other animals walking around the planet in tune with the earth. But human beings walk around with shoes on our feet, right? That's a mutation. That's a genetically modified way of thinking that keeps us living out of harmony and out of tune with life. Now, the reason I put cosmic, right? And if you see, I put a few words up here and I put the definitions to the words so that we can have the objective facts as to what's going on and what I'm saying. So, cosmic, I put cosmic mutations because as above, so below, right? What's taking place in the stars, in the constellations, in the heavens, is taking place down here biologically on the earth. Simple, right? And we know that what? The first hermetic principle, all is mind. All is mind. The first hermetic principle, the law of mentalism. We have to understand that astrology is the mechanics of consciousness. Astrology is the study of the cosmos. So, being that it's as above, so below, the law of correspondence, which is the second hermetic principle, it shows you that what's taking place in the heavens is taking place down on earth. So if the body is become mutated, it's because the mind has become mutated. So we have to study astrology to understand how the mind has become mutated and what cosmic mutations look like and how a cell can be mutated in general to begin with. So let's get into it, man. So right here, you feel me? I drew some little art. This right here is a cell. This is you. 50 trillions of these make up you, right? If you study biology and know biology, 50 trillions of cells make up the human body. That's equal up to you. You move as one being, one unit, one cell that's made up out of 50 trillions of other cells. Now, we know that in epigenetics, right? If you don't know what epigenetics is, there's a scientist and a doctor in the field of biology named Dr. Bruce Lipton. And shout out to Chief for putting me on to this Caucasian light worker so that we can piece together the truth. He is a front runner for the study of epigenetics. And if you got to break down these words because the English language is based in Latin. So a lot of these words that we use are Latin words. So the phrase epi in Latin means above. Then you got genetics, epigenetics, above genes. This means, right, that environment regulates your perception and your genetic expression. And this is you. Remember, this is you, a cell. And your environment, what's going on around you, the people, places, and things, whatever is taking place around you, is regulating your perception and how your genes are going to express themselves. Now, we have to understand what genes are, right? I put the word gene here, the word DNA here. If you look at the centerpiece of a cell, the heart of a cell is called what? It's called the nucleus. The heart of the cell is called the nucleus. Inside the heart or the nucleus of a cell lies this. This is what's inside of the middle of a cell. DNA. They call it deoxyribonucleic acid. but simply DNA is the molecular blueprint for a living thing, aka the mind. Right? I'm gonna run that back. You are a cell made up out of 50 trillions of other cells. And in the center of a cell is the nucleus. That is the heart of a cell. Inside of the nucleus lies the DNA. The DNA is the molecular blueprint for all living things, aka the mind, right? If you are a cell and the DNA inside of you is what makes up what you are, and we know that the first hermetic principle is all is mental, well, DNA is synonymous to the mind. DNA is a representative of the mind. And your genetics, your genes are basically pieces of DNA that give instructions or code for something. It's instructions or code for a cell, aka thoughts. The thoughts that you have frequently are the codes or the algorithm or the instruction that you're basing your reality in. So we have to understand that as a cell, our environment is regulating our mind and the thoughts that we are having. Our environment, due to epigenetics, is regulating our DNA, which is our mind, and our genes, which is our thoughts. Now we're going to get into a mutation. Right? Because how do you mutate a cell? How do you make a cell a mutation? Well, first off, what you do with a cell is, first off, we know epigenetics. Dr. Bruce Lipton did a science experiment with cells in Peachtree dishes. Every cell that he put inside of those Peachtree dishes grew according to the environment that they was placed in. So this just goes to show you that the environment that the cell is placed in can mutate it. So for instance, somebody asked me on my YouTube page, and shout out to you, brother, if you watch this. Somebody asked me, so basically human beings are in our lower self because we're not between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. And I said, absolutely, correctamundo. You're right. And the reason why he is right about that is because when human beings, which are cells, remember, a cell can only vibrate as high as its own environment. So when a cell or a human being, which is a cell, leaves its natural environment, which is between the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, we know that that's near the equator, where the sun is at its most powerful, where this abundance of life, right? Abundance of life force, because the sun is at its most vital in that region. When human beings migrate further away, what happens is we begin to lose connection to the sun and to what we are. Our food, we start to lose life force with the food, the water, the oxygen, the plant life around us. Not only that, human beings have melanin. Melanin is the universe. It is the intelligence that is powering your being, that is powering your DNA, that's powering your thoughts. When you get it further away from the sun, you become genetically modified. You begin to mutate. And what happens is, it's called the methylation process. Nature begins to decide which genes or which thoughts should be turned on and turned off according to the environment that you are in, so that you can survive. So when human beings migrated away from the sun, from the tropics, we begin to mutate. When a human being begins to eat too much meat, too much pork, too much dairy, you begin to mutate your cells. Because why? Mutations happen inside the body when cells have excess mucus, excess inflammation from the misinformation that you're putting inside of your mind. So when the excess mucus and excess inflammation begins to coat the cells and block the cells from having oxygen and blood flow, then the cell begins to mutate and become a cancer so that it can survive due to the circumstances that it's going through. And this is what human beings are doing, right? So that human beings can survive in the northern hemisphere where we got winter seasons, we start to lose pigment. Certain genes was turned off so that we can thrive or survive, shall I say, in a colder climate, right? That's how you mutate a human being, right? That's how you mutate a cell. You curate or you create an environment, a simulated environment to make the species go against itself. And you can do this through food, the environment, the water, the people, the curriculum you put into it, the broadcast, the news, the radio, the TV. All of these things mutate you, because remember, as a cell, the mind of a cell is its DNA. You mutate the mind of a human being, or the DNA of a human being, by giving it misinformation. So remember that. But that's just on a biological scale. Now let's go into astrology. I wanna tell you what a cosmic mutation would look like astrologically, right? So we got to know that I told you, as above, so below. And again, I got to bring it up because nobody talks about this but Chief. Chief is the only teacher, only spiritual guy that's talking about astrology and biology being, you feel me, side by side, coinciding with each other. And this is where the cosmic mutations are going to come in. Because remember, what the body is doing, the mind is doing. What the mind is doing, the body is doing. The body cannot be mutated unless the mind have mutated thoughts or misinformation that's allowing you to have the wrong or unhealthy thoughts. Genes, right? So, in astrology is the mechanics of consciousness, right? When you're studying the DNA of a cell, you're studying the astrological program of that cell. It's the mechanics of consciousness. It's how planets have an effect on human behavior. Simply put, that's what astrology is. Now, what time is it, y'all? We in the age of Aquarius because time is nature. So it's Aquarius time, like Chief teaches us. And with that being said, in the age of Aquarius, we're coming out of being asleep inside of God's dream. We're coming out of the unconscious state where there was a mix-up of energies, where there was chaos. We didn't know who we were. There was a lack of knowledge of self. So everything is mixed up, right? This is what it looks like astrologically for a cosmic mutation to play out. We have women and men. Now, in astrology, we got Aries all the way through Pisces. We got 12 signs. But out of those 12 signs, there are 6 masculine signs. There are 6 feminine signs. Your masculine signs would be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Your feminine energies are going to be Taurus, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Pisces. And is it another one? Yeah, that's it. Those are your feminine energies. Now, remember, your gender is important for you to understand how you're experiencing your reality or how your mind works. If you are a woman, this means that you're experiencing reality more in an emotional way because you have a lot more estrogen versus the man who has more testosterone and experiences life in a more logical and masculine way. But watch this. Since we are in the end of an age, going into a beginning of a new age, we go through cosmic mix-ups. So we have men, right? We have men with the astrological energies of a female. Look at this. Say we got a man and his sun sign is in Cancer, and he got a moon in Taurus, a Mercury in Virgo, a Venus in Pisces, and a Mars in Libra. This is going to be a man that is more prone to embodying feminine characteristics. So you can see a man, but energetically, this man is a woman, astrologically. And this would be a cosmic mutation because the astrological blueprint doesn't represent the 3D physical appearance. You see what I'm saying? Another example, we can have a woman. Right? Women are supposed to be soft. They're supposed to be receptive. They're supposed to be gentle and nurturing and kind and soft-spoken, and you feel me? But say this woman has a sun sign in Leo, a moon in Aries, a Mercury in Gemini, a Venus in Sagittarius, and a Mars in Scorpio. Now, this is going to be a woman who appears on the surface to be a female, but astrologically, she's a man. Leo is a masculine sign. Aries is a masculine sign. Gemini is a masculine sign. Sagittarius is a masculine energy. Scorpio might as well be a masculine energy. It's a dominant sign. You feel me? This is what a cosmic mutation would look like, right? And transsexuals will go into this as well, right? They talk about trannies. Well, the transsexual appears to be a man, but wants to be a woman. Well, that's because astrologically, this transsexual has the astrological energy and the cosmic makeup of a woman, of a female. You got to study astrology because it's the mechanics of consciousness. You don't know a person or know what you're dealing with until you study the mind, until you study the genetics or the code, aka the thoughts that make the being what it is. You follow me? And then another example of a cosmic mutation would be, say, because watch this. In astrology, certain signs or energies belong to certain planets. Certain planets belong to certain houses, right? For instance, the sun is ruled, right? They have certain modes and modalities, right? Rulership, detriment, exaltations, or just being neutral. Certain signs are falling in certain planets. Certain signs are in detriment in certain planets. For instance, let's say you got a sun sign in Scorpio. The sun do not want to be in the sign of Scorpio. It just don't. Because the sun is ruled by Leo and exalted in Aries. They want to be in a fire sign and in a masculine sign. Scorpio is a feminine energy and it's a water sign. The sun does not want to be there. That's a mutation. The moon being a Capricorn. The moon is ruled by Cancer and exalted in Taurus. Capricorn falls in the moon because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and it makes you restricted. It makes you disciplined, detached, militant, logical. The moon is an emotional planet. It's ruled by Cancer. It wants to feel. Capricorn can be detached. The moon don't want to be in Capricorn. Mercury is ruled by Virgo and Gemini. It want to be in Taurus or Libra because Mercury is the processor. It's the mind. It's how the mind communicates and processes information, right? Mercury wants to be practical, logical. It want to take up numbers, mathematics. It don't want to be abstract, artistic, musical. This is what Pisces is. Pisces is a intuitive sign. It's more of a feeling sign than it is one that wants to gather information and logistics. That's what Gemini and Virgo wants to do. That's what Mercury wants to do. But in Pisces, here you will see a cosmic mutation because Mercury doesn't want to be there. Mercury is in a debilitated situation here in Mercury. Here, Mercury in Pisces is confused. It's dreamy. It's subjective. It's not objective, right? Another cosmic mutations, and this is what it would look like in your natal chart, and you'll see how it plays out in your reality. Venus in Virgo, right? Venus is the planet of romance, relationships, desires, harmony, balance, money, right? Venus want to be in Libra. It's ruled in Libra. It's ruled in Taurus. It's exalted in Pisces. But when you got Venus in Virgo, Virgo is an analytical sign. It's a sign that wants to be practical. Venus is your heart. It's your heart's intentions. So in love, Venus is exalted in Pisces because Pisces is a feeling sign. It's intuitive. It goes with the flow. Venus in Virgo is not a position where Venus is going to be happy. It's mutated. This is a gene, right? And watch this. This is actually a gene inside of your DNA. As above, so below. Astrology is biology. Venus in Virgo will be an activated gene within your DNA that gives you your reality. And this gene or this thought would be a debilitated thought. This would be a thought that doesn't allow you to see life in a healthy way when it comes to Venusian things like love and romance and art and desires. You feel me? Virgo wants to be analytical. It wants to be critical. Virgo is going to use its mind instead of its heart in love. Venus is you in love. When Virgo is in Venus, you're going to be leading with your heart, with your mind instead of your heart, which is a mutated position in astrology. Then we got Mars and Taurus, right? This is another cosmic mutation. This is another mutated gene or thought within your mind or within somebody's astrological program that they can have. Why? Because Mars is the planet of action. It's the warrior planet, right? Mars want to be in Aries. That's where it's ruled at. It's exalted in Capricorn. It want to be in Leo, Sagittarius. It's cool in Gemini. It want to be in a masculine sign. If you got a Mars in Taurus, Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is the planet of love and beauty and romance and comforts and food and luxury and being lazy and sensual. Mars is the warrior planet, nigga. It's the soldier. So you gotta have that get up and go. You gotta have a certain grit when you have Aries in Mars or a certain masculine position in Mars. Taurus is a feminine sign. It doesn't want to be in Mars. Taurus it makes you someone who approaches life in a methodical way. Someone who takes their time and appears lazy or slow or methodical to do things because it wants to feel good. Taurus want to feel comfortable. It don't want to go to war. It want to go eat. It want to have sex. It want to sleep. It want to listen to music. It want to smell good fragrances and look at beautiful things. In this position, Taurus and Mars is in detriment, which makes it a cosmic mutation. You feel me? So this is what it is, man. This is the download for y'all. Cosmic mutations, y'all. And the only way you know what the mutations are is if you study astrology. We're in the age of Aquarius where we're in a melting pot or a melting pot of energy where everybody lacks knowledge of self. We don't know ourselves. And you feel me? This is what we're going through. And not only is it happening mentally because life is mental, but it plays out, right? When human beings migrate from the sun, from the tropic ley lines, listen, it's called the Tropic of Capricorn and Cancer for a reason, because life is all mental. It's astrological programming, as above, so below. So when the human being moves away from the tropics, from the ley lines, you move further away from the sun. Remember, the sun in Spanish is called soul. Your soul is your mind. Your soul is your DNA. Right? The sun in this reality is a symbol for your conscious mind. It's a symbol for your conscious mind. And the further you are away from it, the less intelligent you are. The closer you are to the sun, which is your mind, the more intelligent you are. The more you can repair your mind. You cannot be mutated if you are close to your source, if you are in tune with your source, right? The further you go away from the sun, you mutate your mind. Because the sun, right, in Spanish, or not in Spanish, but in astrology, everybody got a sun sign, which is your mind. You can't have any mutations the closer you are to the sun. And that's an important thing to know, especially in astrology and biology, because the sun repairs DNA. The sun expresses melanin onto the planet. It sends out 2 signals to all mutated cells inside the body. Human beings are mutated cells because we poured it into iniquity. We poured it into the mind of our oppressor who lacks melanin and intelligence to understand life. And we're running off of their information, which makes us mutated. It's misinformation. So when you are closer to the sun or closer to nature, you begin to get closer to your human nature because the sun will send you a signal out, right? Whether for you to repair your DNA or for you to self-destruct. Simple. The sun is going to send you a signal to repair your mind or self-destruct. And the closer you are to the sun, the less susceptible you are to being mutated. You feel me? The less you are around people, places, and things that suggest Babylon to you, the less likely you are to be cosmically mutated. because everybody is a solar system. Everybody is an astrological program. Everybody is a walking cosmic blueprint. If you're dealing with the wrong people, they're going to be telling you certain things that's going to be programming your subconscious, that's going to be mutating your genes, that's going to be mutating your thoughts or your codes. You feel me? And this all goes in with the subconscious mind and epigenetics and how your environment rules you. So you control your environment and your cosmic blueprint by controlling your mind. But if you don't control and master your mind, then your environment is going to regulate and do it anyway. Now you can be unconscious and let your environment do that, or you can become conscious of your environment and say, I'm going to place myself around this, and this is going to help me repair my mind. This is going to help my melanin or my DNA, my mind or my genes, my thoughts from being mutated. This is going to repair them, so I'm vibrating on the highest frequency of thought, so that I'm seeing life in a healthy perspective. All right, y'all. So that's the download for today, man. Cosmic Mutations 101. You feel me? Study astrology, biology, quantum physics, melanin, and grounding. All right. Reflect the light from the honorable prophet, Eligio the Christ. I love myself.